Hey there folks, Ash here, and today we're going to be looking at a very special video. Now this video came into my recommended a few minutes ago and I watched it, and it is probably the worst Power Rangers video I've ever seen before. This is basically a top 10 scary Power Ranger theory video by top 10 list, and I watched the video. I was like, hey, I'm on board, let's see what this theory is. You get to like number 9 after number 10, and it just goes downhill from there. Now, this is the guy's thumbnail. It's basically the bootleg Power Ranger helmet, but to make it all edgy and scary, they basically put blood on the lips to make it seem like, I don't know, Heath Ledger Joker to make it seem more edgy and shit. I mean, if that's not edgy, I don't know what is or what isn't, but you can tell when you see a thumbnail like that, you're in for a treat. So number 10 on this list is Lord Zed was the master of mystic thoughts, which is a theory I've never heard before, I've never researched before, but let's have a look at it. So this channel's got 6 million subscribers, so maybe they mean serious business, maybe they've done a lot of research and stuff, but not really. I don't think not a lot of people did some research with this video, scripted by Jolene Bedard, hosted by Chi Dorana. I don't think these people did their research when doing this video. I feel like they got their top 10 list from message boards and wikis and stuff like that, because it goes downhill fast really soon. And in this video we're going to look at it. Let's hit that play button right now. I get confused because I've got OBS, I'm looking at the wrong one.
We're moving on to number 9. Could it be that Tommy has an evil clone? It was a big surprise for fans when they heard the announcement that Dino Thunder would have the return.
Okay, this is where you draw the red flags, where he calls Dino Thunder Dino Thunder. Now this could be a mistake in the script. He could have done, I don't know, he could have read the auto cue wrong. This is where you get stuff a bit weird and the research isn't all there. So you've got a photo of Evil Tommy, or Tom Oliver, some people call him, who appeared in the Green Ranger Returns in Season 3 or 2, or Season 2. It's basically back in the Mighty Morphin days, this character appeared where it was an Evil Tommy clone and the Green Ranger fought the White Ranger. It was okay, it was an okay episode. Does it hold up? Probably not.
Return of former Ranger Tommy Oliver. But the bigger surprise was how he returned. Tommy had graduated and went on to become a teacher. That wasn't actually shown in the series.
Okay, this is where you can tell where his theories are all over the place. He's trying to figure out what's going on. He says, oh, we never saw what happened to Tommy when he became a teacher. That doesn't need to be explained. There's some situations in the Power Rangers where it's better off if you don't know. Like, you can tell but don't show, you can speculate and stuff like that, but because they never show it, this is where things get crazy.
Found out from a former teammate, Adam, and made comments saying that it was hard to imagine him becoming a teacher because people grow up, they change. Tommy changed. He went from riding motorbikes and race cars and having long hair to becoming a teacher. He became a dinosaur archaeologist. I can't speak right now, but people change, people grow up, and Tommy moved on with his life apart from Kiara and hiring. So yeah, pretty much this just makes no sense when you read it or listen to it, because they never actually saw his life continue on. A theory started formulating suggestions that the returning Tommy isn't actually the real Tommy. The theory goes that Zed created an evil clone of Tommy who dragged him back in time to Colonial Angel Grove.
I'm pretty sure that's what happens in the episode. That's what happens to the evil Tommy clone at the end of the arc. He goes to live in Colonial Angel Grove. That's where the evil Tommy clone ends up living, because you can't have two Tommys in the same timeline or something like that, but that's where he ends up going. Lord Zed doesn't drag him there. He chooses to stay there to protect the people because he can morph and stuff. Like, this is where you scratch your head and realize what the hell is going on with this video, because you've got 6 million subscribers and this isn't some content on content creator stuff. This is me debunking their top 10 list and
basically trying to discuss what the heck is going on. I mean, you've got writers, producers, hosts, video editors. Did no one double check this when they made this? I mean, it's got over 100k views, and did they just put it out and be like, oh, here's our theory video? Did no one think to research? Did anyone think to research when making this video?
The clone ended up returning to the present to take on the identity of Tommy so he could use his intelligence to become a teacher.
No, the main Tommy that we saw from Mighty Morphin to Turbo grew up. People grow up. They get scholars, they graduate and stuff like that. Why would... just trying to... I'm debating with myself. I'm debating with a screen right now.
And the episode where Tommy faces off against aspects of the Green and White Rangers was actually the clone trying to prove he could live up to Tommy's legacy.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. No. No. No.
Did Tommy really go from Ranger to teacher in 6 years? And is he...
Yes, he did. He did. He did do that. He did.
living a normal life, or is Tommy actually the evil clone with different intentions? Sliding into number 8 is the theory that there is a Ranger limit. Does this mean that I've lost my chances to become the next Power Ranger? Throughout the years, many people have questioned why there's only a handful of Rangers. Usually we're used to seeing the limit be a solid group of 6, but sometimes it has expanded the group into a dozen if needed. But why not more? The reason for this is a long ongoing theory that the morphing grid that gives out powers has a mind of its own, and every time it gives out powers, it weakens. So if it was spreading out the power to hundreds of Rangers, the grid would be less effective. The Ranger...
I don't know if you can see my brain cells dying, but they're dying as I listen to this because this video was made in 2020. It was made in 2020. Did the person scripting this not think to say, hey, there's a Power Rangers season called Dino Charge where there's 10 Rangers? And I know the answer can be because Sentai and it limits the team, but there has been other seasons where there has been 10 Rangers. But to say there's a limit is just stupid and weird. Like, we had stuff where we had Shattered Grid where there was several Rangers on one big comic panel, and then you have stuff like this where it's like, oh, there's only a limit because the morphing grid says so when it gets weaker. No, it does not. Maybe, but it doesn't. Just, oh, fuck me. This is going to be a long night. Give me a second.
Rangers are known to be chosen for their unique skills and spirit, and the grid is able to select a handful to meet the criteria. Hence, this is why there is a limit to their power. In the number 7 spot is the Evil Dimension. Throughout the different series, fans have seen showcases of a lot of different evil places. Lord Zed had his Haunted Forest, Lightspeed Rescue, and the Shadow World. Ninja Storm had the Abyss of Evil, and the Samurai had the Nightlock Heaven. In all of these situations,
I don't think the Nightlock were in heaven, and I don't think the Nightlock were in heaven. They were in hell. They were in hell. They were demons. They were demons from hell because Sentai, but fuck me. I gotta get through this. I don't like pulling apart videos like this because it makes me seem mean-spirited that I'm picking on someone less knowledgeable because I've made a few mistakes here and there, but we're only 3 minutes in. And,
situations, these places are basically a resting place for evil monsters that were destroyed by the Rangers. Fans have come up with the idea that these evil afterlife universes are actually all the same dimension, which would actually make things...
Yes and no, because there are different dimensions in the Power Ranger universe. RPM, Dino Charge, the comics. Everyone is from a different dimension or a different timeline. There could be an evil dimension out there, but... fuck me. I'm swearing too much and it's probably gonna get me in trouble, but just when you watch videos like this...
It's really interesting. From this theory comes a huge debate on what sort of religion these monsters hold and how they
Wait, religion?
have different paths in one dimension. Putting that whole debate aside, it would make a lot of sense of all these evil forces called the same dimension home after they are defeated. It would also mean they might generate the next generation of evil power, like the morphing grid. They could use all of their power in one source in one place to create some sort of evil rangers or something. Moving along to number 6 is the idea that the coins automatically equal fighting skill.
When I first watched this made me cringe because he'll say something in a bit that just made me roll my eyes.
Has been one of the longest running fan theories, and it actually makes a lot of sense. Basically, let's be honest, not a lot of fan theories are logical. From the beginning of the Power Rangers,
Cheers, buddy. Cheers. I know you're not talking about me, but cheers for that. Cheers.
There has been one part of the show that always stays consistent, and that's as soon as the Rangers get their powers from their coins and morphers, these teenagers instantly know how to fight.
No. Pause it, hold it. There has been cases where before the Rangers get their power coins, before they're chosen, they're able to fight on their own. Some of them can't hold them off, like in the very first episode of Mighty Morphin, they could barely hold off the putties, but they did know karate, they had never been up against putties and stuff like that. But there's been episodes where you have people like Leo, where Leo fights off the guards and stuff like that. There's been episodes where, even without their powers or the power coins, some of the Rangers can hold their own against the grunts, even before they get their epic morphin sequence. I mean, we had Tyler fight off a monster with a shovel, for fuck's sake, in the first episode of Dino Charge, so why are you saying that, the power coins equal fighting skills? No, I know you probably got this theory from somewhere, like on Twitter or Reddit or a message board, but that just sounds so brain dead, it makes no fucking sense. Like, watch an episode, like, who wrote this script, honestly? Like, who wrote this script? It seems like the person who wrote this script was probably someone who's only seen Mighty Morphin, and they looked at a wiki, they looked at a few clips online, and they were like, here you go, buddy, here's your script, fuck me, like, no offense to who wrote this script, but you could have researched it better, in my opinion.
They're instantly ready to use specific weapons and have knowledge of their powers. But let's not forget they are teenagers who often have little skills before getting their powers.
Again, wrong. There are some Rangers who do have fighting skills before they morph. Like I said, Leo could fight off a bunch of thugs, and there's been a few episodes where the Rangers, before they morph, they can hold their own against grunts and stuff like that. So, where are you getting this information from, buddy? I'd like to speak with your writer. Hit me up on social media.
So how are they just suddenly prepared? Well, the theory is simple. The coins and morphers immediately grant powers and fighting skills to the person who wears them. They also download knowledge on how to pilot their Zoids and...
Did he just say Zoids? Oh my god. Dino Thunder Zoids. I know that he's probably reading off an auto cue right now and someone got the script wrong and stuff like that, but you said you're a Power Rangers fan at the start of the video, but, like, wouldn't you correct yourself and be like, hey, it's Zords, not Zoids? I mean, like, damn.
A safe way to use their weapons. I feel like we all just assumed this was the case anyways, but it's important because it has never actually been mentioned in the show. We are happy.
You don't have to mention it because it's Power Rangers. You don't need a detailed explanation for everything that happens in the show. I mean, just go with it. I mean, I do say that sometimes in a video, saying an explanation would be nice, but you don't need something detailed like that. Like I said, some of the Rangers know how to fight without their coins.
Way through at number 5, and we have the theory that the morphing grid has various powers.
Okay, where is he going with this one?
A bit earlier in our list I spoke about what the morphing grid does and that its power source grants the Rangers their different powers. You could say that it's the force of the whole franchise. Throughout the series, some fans have picked up on the fact that it seems to exist in various time periods and is able to use both magical and scientific reasoning. It makes the choice on how long some Rangers can use their powers and how to adapt them to different times and themes. The theory goes on that the grid has multiple powers, and no matter what the team or setting is, it can adapt to the situation and lead the Rangers in to make sure that they always have a clean victory. Well, it's not always clean, but they...
This just makes no sense.
End up winning in the end, usually. Rolling into number 4 is the possibility that Zordon was...
Okay, I need to watch this again because this is going to be something. This is going to be something. Okay, let's read. Let's listen. Let's listen to why Zordon was evil.
Evil. I know what you're thinking. This is crazy. Zordon was known for being the fantastic force of good for everything in the universe, but some fans have hold on to the idea that he wasn't as good as he seemed. The theory goes on that Zordon was actually a dark figure, but was able to hide this from the others and has been keeping it a secret for a long time. He was waiting for humanity to get technology to the level where he could finally break free and conquer the world. But then Rita Repulsa showed up. He decided he didn't want any competition, so he recruited the Teenage Rangers and convinced them that this witch and her monsters were evil, but in reality he was the evil one. The idea claims that Zed and Rita...
That sounds like something out of a creepypasta or something, or like Ash Ketchum's been in a coma for a whole time and the journey was in his dreams. Oh, fuck me. That sounds decent, but when you say it out loud, like, oh, Zordon was an evil mastermind, when you say it out loud, like the way he's explaining, it just sounds so fucking stupid. Like, where are you getting these theories from? And I don't mean to, like, shit on all your theories, man, but these theories are so laughable. And then when we get to number one is what actually made me want to do this video.
Both knew that he was evil and figured that the Rangers were in on it. So that could there be a limit? We've made it to not make a
yeah, number 4 is... okay.
Limit to the Rangers in...
A limit, okay. This is going to be fun to tear this one apart.
In the universe. This theory says that there most definitely is. Since the end of In Space, there's a tradition that every season brings in a brand new team of Rangers together. With few exceptions, you never really see Rangers coming back with powers. This raises a question as to why, but fans have come up with what they call a logical answer. The theory says that it's the simple fact that the human body can't handle too much power from the morphing grid. If they take
No. This is logical, but this sounds wrong for so many reasons. This is mostly due to actors not wanting to come back, or the Sentai footage, because not all of them work together. There's a lot of explanations for this, but let's keep listening, because I bet she's going to say, why do they power down after a while? And let's listen to that.
For too long, their body will burn out. So as soon as the Rangers get their powers, there's a time limit to how long they can last before it gets too dangerous. The original Rangers handled this by shifting their powers, but eventually they...
No, they upgraded their powers. They didn't shift to do the limit. It was mostly due to the Sentai footage being burnt out. But yeah, I won't credit you on that, but fuck me. Fuck.
Had to give them up. The grid decides that less is sometimes more when it comes to the Rangers, and they don't have to carry that responsibility all their lives.
That was said in the show, they don't have to be a Ranger forever, they can grow up and pass it on, but they can come back like we've seen in anniversary episodes. That is somewhat true, you are wording it somewhat correctly.
Basically, you have a certain amount of time you can be a hero and kick...
Not really, because we've seen older Rangers, and if they don't pass on the power, then they could be Rangers forever. I think there has been older Rangers who have been training all their life and stuff like that, but... like, he brings up good points, and then I feel like he brings in what he read online to whoever wrote the script, and it just sounds even more baffled.
Kick some butt before your time is up, so you better use that time wisely.
Nah, I'm right.
Taking over the number 2 spot is the Civil War plot.
Okay, this is Hexagon. Hexagon wasn't a theory video. Well, Hexagon wasn't a theory. It was a scrapped concept that they were going to do during the Saban era if Disney never bought out Power Rangers. It's not a theory, it almost happened, but it didn't, and there's basically scripts and plot elements lying around for it, but like I said, it never happened. It's not a theory, it's basically a fan fiction at this point, because it never happened, and the guy who wrote it was a fan of Power Rangers, but it's not a theory, it's something that nearly happened, but it didn't.
This theory comes from different information gathered by different sources that a variety of fans have kind of meshed together on the internet. In 2000...
So you're taking the facts and you're turning it into a theory video. with what we've heard from Dino Thunder and from Hexagon and stuff like that. Let's see what he says about Hexagon.
In 2003, Fox decided to let the show go, and it was bought by Disney, who ended up moving it to ABC. Apparently, with the change came a new plot idea, which went under the code name Hexagon. The new idea was that Tommy Oliver would manage a ninja academy while helping other former Rangers to keep the peace in the world, instead of just in one city. The Ninja Rangers would then be sent across the world to fight enemies. On top of this, the character who became the Thunder Ninja would be a part of another group led by the former Red Ranger Jason. But then they wanted to do their own thing. This whole idea would eventually lead to a massive showdown.
Okay, Disney never wanted to do their own thing. This was probably going to be an idea if Saban picked up Ninja Storm, but because everything moved to Disney, from production to actors, most of the cast and crew, it never happened and the ideas were shelved, and they decided to make Ninja Storm by adapting the Sentai or whatever they did. This was never a Disney idea to begin with. They scrapped the idea, or they didn't hire the person who was working on the idea, and it never happened. That's what happened.
Between two Ranger sides. It's been said that this idea was never done because the budget was in fact too large. But the plot...
That, and they moved everything to New Zealand. Yeah, the budget would be too large to get all those actors back for a non-union show. I'll give you brownie points for that, but...
That twist would have been amazing. I mean, we all love it when heroes fight heroes. It's so cool. I don't know why we love it, but we just love it. Alright guys, we've made it to number 1 with the dark theory that Trini has done.
This made me cringe. When I basically scrolled past and I saw Trini, and I was like, no, he did not go there.
The Vietnamese-born actress Thu Trang.
It's Thuy Trang, not Phu, it's Thuy. I had a lot of trouble pronouncing it first, but it's Thuy, and I'm not going to rip at him for pronouncing a name wrong, but he does it several times, and this is where he gets a lot of facts wrong.
Wasn't known when she was first cast to play the role of the Yellow Ranger. Back in 1994, she and 2 other cast members decided to stand up against the producers and demand for more money for their...
That is true, until you get to this part here.
...roles. The showrunners called their bluff and fired the...
Now, you can say they were fired, but they walked off set and they quit. One could say that Saban fired them because they walked off set and they had their contracts revoked and they got replaced. That's also debatable, but saying, like, this guy and the scriptwriter never did their research, and to say, oh, Trini's dead because we never see or hear from her again because the actress died in real life, like, that's been a debatable theory, but there's some stuff that, like, you don't theorize or you don't speculate. This is one of them. Like, the whole Trini thing, a lot of people just speculate Trini's off in the world doing her own thing, whether the character died or not, because in a way, Trini lives on through the comics with how Ryan and Carl Higgins have written the character. But this just made me cringe, and I gotta be honest, my stomach kind of felt sick just listening to this guy's theory, to be honest. Which is what wanted me to make this video to begin with.
Trio, then replaced them with new Rangers. Thuy went on.
Thuy went on. And yeah, they were replaced.
To act in other movies like The Crow, City of Angels, but on September 3rd, 2001, she tragically died in a car accident. Her funeral was actually one of the few times that the original cast of the Power Rangers got back together since the show ended. The
show never ended at that point on time. Time Force was on, or I think maybe Lightspeed Rescue was on at the time. I think it was Time Force was on at the time. But the show was still on. Mighty Morphin had ended, and the cast from Mighty Morphin had moved on and done other things, but the show was still on the air.
The series did an episode that week in memory of her, but didn't mention it much after that. This tragedy is...
Yeah, of course, you don't mention it after. You pay your respects, and... Ooh, how do I sound this without being like an asshole? So, basically, you have the tribute card at the end of the episode, and because each Power Ranger series is its own continuity or own different series, you don't have to keep bringing it up. You don't have to say, hey, what happened to that Trini character? You don't have to have a character asking or standing in the background when Trini's not on set saying, where's Trini? Like, there's stuff you can leave unanswered because of stuff like this, like you can, like it's happened to actors before where, it's happened to characters before where actors have died and they've written them out of the show. Like, fuck me, this just upset me in so many ways, just the disrespect.
This caused the fans to come up with the theory that not only did Thui pass away, but Trini also died. The original Yellow Ranger was changed in the show because she actually died in the show, but it was never.
This is what set me off, where he says, oh, let me rewind it.
The original Yellow Ranger was changed in the show because she actually died in the show, but it was never mentioned.
They mention it why they changed the actress. It was because of the power transfer and the actors leaving. That's why Trini was replaced in the show, and they moved on. I'm sure they would have loved to bring Twee back for like there was actually plans to bring Twee back at the end of Turbo, because when they did that big power transfer, that was in the script. From what I've heard, they were going to have all the original Mighty Morphin team standing on that platform at the end when they talked about transferring the powers. That's what I've heard what one of the plans was. But just to have this fucking idiot just spout disrespect and just wrong answers just fucking annoys me.
All right, everyone, that is our list, and as promised.
And I'm done. I'm done with this video. I'm done with looking at, like, this is probably like the worst Power Rangers video I've ever seen. I don't want to shit on it too much because people are going to say, well, like, I don't know if anyone can defend this video or defend this guy, but this is the worst video I've ever seen. And I've been talking for almost 30 minutes, ranting and raving how much I hate this video, because this is like the worst research video I've ever watched. It's the worst top 10 theories I've ever watched. This guy's production team, they are very unresearched, unproduced. Like, I know people shit on me. Like, I can shit on myself when I get stuff wrong, and I'll even call myself out when I get stuff wrong. But to have a full team working on a video like this, especially a 6 million subscriber channel that pulls in a lot of views, you should have someone double checking your facts and getting it right. This guy doesn't, and I don't know how to end this video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, take care, all that good stuff. I don't know. Waka waka, gabba gabba.